Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Future Force. Today we bring you one of the most significant updates in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, a turning point that is being hailed as Ukraine's biggest air defense victory, where several Russian jets were annihilated in a series of calculated strikes that showcased not only advanced weaponry, but also superior strategy, coordination, and intelligence. This event is being seen as a testament to the evolving nature of modern warfare, where air dominance can be challenged even by nations that are considered underdogs, and where resilience, innovation, and the ability to adapt to battlefield dynamics can change the tide of conflict. As we dive deep into this moment, let us explore the entire picture from its exterior to the intricate details that make this victory so remarkable. On the exterior, the scale of destruction was massive, as images and footage from the aftermath show wreckage of multiple Russian jets scattered across strategic points, smoke billowing from destroyed hangars and runways temporarily rendered unusable. Ukraine managed to pull off this defensive operation using a combination of advanced surfaced, air missile systems, anti-aircraft artillery, and even newer technologies like portable air defense units supplied by allies. The exterior tells the story of a bold and audacious maneuver that not only downed Russian aircraft but also signaled to the world that Ukraine's skies are not as vulnerable as once perceived. The visual damage to Russian air capabilities and the sudden loss of these jets creates a powerful exterior impression of a nation that is no longer simply reacting, but actively reshaping the theater of war in its favor. Now moving to the interior, which is where the true heart of this story lies. Inside the command and control centers across Ukraine, a remarkable fusion of intelligence gathering, radar tracking, satellite reconnaissance, and quick decision-making made this event possible. Ukrainian air defense operators worked in tight coordination with their allies, integrating data streams from NATO reconnaissance, leveraging real-time updates, and making split-second calls that would eventually lead to this massive victory. The interior operations demonstrated how well Ukraine has modernized its air defense network, blending Soviet-era systems with cutting-edge Western technology to create a layered shield that proved lethal for the invading jets. The operators, many of whom have been trained on modern air defense systems like NASAMS, IRIS-T, and Patriot batteries, combined their skill sets to lock onto targets at multiple altitudes and intercept them with precision. The human element of this interior story cannot be ignored. The analysts, radar operators, and field commanders displayed discipline, courage, and coordination that rival some of the most advanced military organizations in the world. This massive interior framework is what transformed an active defense into a stunning offensive-like victory without Ukraine having to risk its own pilots. In terms of performance, Ukraine's air defense systems displayed a level of effectiveness that has rarely been seen in modern conflicts. Multiple Russian Su-34 and Su-35 jets, including some designed for electronic warfare and ground assault, were neutralized in one operation, severely denting Russia's ability to conduct deep strikes. The performance was measured not only by the number of aircraft downed, but also by the speed of the operation and the minimal collateral damage inflicted. The integration between medium range and long range systems ensured that the aircraft had very little chance to evade, even with the use of countermeasures and electronic jamming. In fact, this performance is now being studied by military analysts worldwide as a case study of how a smaller, well-prepared nation can neutralize the overwhelming air power of a larger adversary using adaptive strategies and multi-layered defenses. Safety features were at the forefront of this operation, particularly in ensuring civilian populations were not at risk during the engagement. The Air Defense Command made sure the engagements took place at altitudes and zones where falling debris would have minimal risk to infrastructure and human life. Civil defense protocols were also in place, with warning sirens activated in potential target zones and evacuation routes pre-coordinated, demonstrating that Ukraine's approach is not just about military success, but also about safeguarding its people. The systems themselves were deployed with built-in fail-safes to prevent misfires and friendly fire incidents, which have been a concern in high-stakes, high-speed conflicts like this. The unique selling points of this victory lie in its timing, execution, and psychological impact. Timing-wise, This strike came at a period when Russia was attempting to reassert its air dominance through increased sorties and bombings across strategic cities. Execution-wise, the ability to coordinate multiple defense platforms, including those provided by international partners, shows Ukraine's growing sophistication and interoperability with NATO systems without even being a formal member. Psychologically, this event sends a message not just to Russia but to the global community. Ukraine can and will defend its skies, and every attempt to overwhelm its defenses will come with a cost. This will likely influence future Russian strategies, potentially making them more cautious and hesitant in their air campaigns, buying Ukraine critical time in the ongoing war. When considering the price of this operation, it becomes clear that the investment in modern air defense systems has paid off. Ukraine has received billions in military aid, but this victory demonstrates how that aid, when used effectively, can yield results far beyond its financial value. Each Russian jet destroyed represents not only a financial loss in the tens of millions of dollars for Russia, but also a strategic loss in terms of experienced pilots, electronic warfare systems, and mission capabilities. The price, for Ukraine in this sense, was minimal compared to the damage inflicted on its adversary, and it shows that strategic defense investments can turn the tide of war without the massive resource expenditure typically associated with offensive campaigns. In conclusion, this moment marks a milestone in the ongoing war, highlighting how Ukraine has transitioned from being a target of relentless air campaigns to becoming a formidable shield against one of the most powerful air forces in the world. It reinforces the idea that modern warfare is no longer just about numbers or sheer firepower, but about intelligence, integration, and innovation. The destruction of Russian jets in this event is not merely a tactical win but a strategic statement, one that will likely reverberate in military think tanks, international defense discussions, and the planning rooms of both Ukraine and Russia for months to come. Ukraine's biggest air defense victory showcases the power of preparation, the importance of alliances, and the resilience of a nation fighting not only for its territory, but for its sovereignty and future.